Hello everyone, I am Amit Guptani, Assistant Professor in Mechanical Engineering Department at Dr. Subhash Technical Campus, Junagadh. I welcome you all on today's presentation related with the subject Industrial Engineering. In today's presentation, we will study about the topic Production Planning and Control. So, let us begin our today's presentation on the topic PPC, Production Planning and Control. In today's presentation, we will go through the 4 topics. The first topic will be Introduction to PPC. Second one will be Objectives of PPC. Third is Function of PPC, and fourth, Limitation of PPC. So let us begin our presentation with our first topic, Introduction to PPC. So first of all, what is production? Production is nothing but conversion of raw materials into useful products by doing some processes on that raw materials and getting it into the useful product. That is simply production. So before production, there are lots of plannings that one has to do. That may be in the form of material, that may be in the form of machines, equipments, manpower. So it requires a very much advanced planning before the production of any items. Now, the definition of what does the definition of PPC say? Any factory has always a goal to achieve something. So the goals that they have set, how that is achieved? By moving in proper direction and with proper coordination of all those facilities that is available with them, all the physical facilities that is available with them in the best possible economical way. That is production planning and control. Production planning and control. Next topic, Objectives of PPC. What are the objectives of production planning and control? Production planning and control. So the first objective is to deliver goods in required quantities. There must be proper planning so that the target or the goal they have set, for 5,000 products they have to produce, then they must be in a position to produce the required quantity of goods or to deliver the quantities that is being targeted. The second objective is to ensure maximum utilization. Again, what are the parameters or what are the resources that are available with them? They must be maximum utilized and in a best possible way so that they can get maximum output at minimum cost. Third objective, to ensure production of quality products. Again, it is not just one objective that quantities should be attained, quantity of goods should be attained, but at the same time there should be also quality that should be maintained. Otherwise, if the quality standards are not that good or that are not according to the standards that are set, then that is not a good factor. So one must also produce quality products. And next objective, there should be proper coordination between labor and machines, and that is a must thing. The labor should be properly having coordination with, means there should be utilized, manpower should be utilized in the best way, and it should be taken care that no machines are kept idle. Next objective, to ensure effective cost reduction and cost control. So objective is to reduce the cost, but again all these parameters have to be kept in mind: quality, quantity. Next objective, to maintain flexibility in manufacturing operations. So there may be change in design of any product, so that system must be able to accept that change. Minor changes can be done and you can manufacture that item, so that should be flexibility. Next, to remove bottleneck in production. So bottleneck is nothing but there may be some machines or some operators where the productivity is low. Within, suppose there are 5 workstations, and then there may be one workstation or one machine which is low at its productivity. So that must be removed. Ultimately that will be affecting your production rate, so it must be taken care that bottleneck during that particular operations must be removed. Next topic, functions of PPC, production planning and control. So as discussed, it has many functions before the production and during the ongoing process. So various functions are as follows. There are mainly 3 functions of PPC. There are 3 phases: planning phase, in which there are 2 subdivided parts. First one is prior planning, and that there is forecasting, order writing and product design information. Second part is active planning. In that there is process planning and routing, material requirement planning, tools requirement planning, loading and scheduling. The second phase is action phase, and the third phase is control phase. So in planning phase, everything is that is not in the form of production. Every planning, everything is done. Every plan is done in this phase. Everything is planned in this phase. The actual production starts from the action phase. From the action phase, the orders are given to the workers. You start the production. And control phase means there is controlling of all the things that are going on. They are continuously monitoring whether the production is going as per the actual planned schedule or not, whether there is any variation in that particular schedule or in times, and corrective actions are taken, feedbacks are given, and that particular operations or data taken back to their original path. So there are 3 main phases. Planning phase, it is totally a paperwork where the plans are done. An action phase, in which orders are given to the workers to start the production. And third is control phase, where the controlling of or monitoring of the operations that are going on are done. So starting with the forecasting, we will see one by one each and every term of planning phase, action phase and control phase. So starting with the first term, forecasting. So forecasting is the prediction of quantities for the future one. That is one technique which is used for estimation of number of quantities that are supposed to be produced in future one. There are many methods within the forecasting or techniques that are used for estimation of any work for future. So it is just an estimation. There may be use of past data. Second, order writing. It gives an authority to one or more persons to do a particular, means it releases an order. Okay, you are responsible for, or you are authorized person to do a particular job. So that is called order writing. Third comes product design information. It is collection of information regarding specification. bill of material and drawing. So collecting as many informations, which procedures you want to do, what are the operations, what are the processes on that particular product you are supposed to do, which material you want to select. Those all are discussed in information regarding specification. What will be the parts, what will be the material, what will be the properties, that is all discussed in information regarding specification. So collecting as much information as possible. Then bill of material means all the parts that will be included to assemble the product. And then drawing, by providing all the material information, properties. Finally the drawing is prepared of that particular product which you want to manufacture. So that is product design and information. Then comes process planning and routing. So process planning and routing means you are finding out the best, the most economical process which will be used to produce the product or to complete the work. That is process planning and routing. And where this work will be done. First of all, deciding the most economical process that will be used for the production and where the work will be done. That is process planning and routing. Then comes material planning. So again that requires planning. How much material you want to buy or you need to procure it. You need to do the inventory of material. So that is material planning. Then comes tools planning. Again, tools are also planned or required well in advance. They will have to be ordered well in advance. So that is tool planning. How much tools will be required, that is also supposed to be planned before the production starts. This all are included in planning phase. So right now there is no production of any items has been started. We are just making list, we are just writing each and everything on paper. There is no production that has been started. That is planning phase. We are just planning these things based on the specifications, based on the bill of material, means number of parts that will combine to make a final product. We are planning all those things. Material planning, tools planning. Next, loading. So how you are assigning a man to the machine, that is called assignment. That is called loading. Sorry, loading means how you are assigning the worker or the man to the machine. So assigning each machine one worker, that is called loading, where they will start the loading of job for producing it into the final product. Now comes the action phase. That is, sorry, not action phase, this is the last part of planning phase, scheduling. So what is scheduling? It is the information related to this starting point of the product to the end date. It is just a plan. It just gives you the plan from where to start, on which date, and at which date that product must be produced in the final form. So that is, and it also gives in what sequence the work should be done, so that the dates that are fixed, for example, starting date is of 4th of June and completion date is of 8th of June. So in that 4 days, what should be the sequence in which the operation should be done on that raw material, so that on the scheduled date, on the committed date, that is 8th of May, that product will be produced. So that is scheduling. Now we are coming into the second phase, that is dispatching. So action phase. So we had said in the planning phase everything we had planned. Now it's time to convert that, all those written informations or written plans, to convert it into some physical parts or start the production. So in dispatching, all those plans that has been executed in planning phase. Now it's time to convert that plans into a physical form. So it is nothing but where the workers are ordered to start the actual work. Dispatching means giving an order from the planning department to the production department, where you start the production of the item, that is dispatching. Then comes control phase. So after the action phase, where the starting of production has been ordered to the worker, now comes the control phase or progress reporting. So how those plans that has been executed, to check whether or to monitor whether that plans, according to that plans, our current or actual production process or our actual production cycle is going on to the same plan or not, or whether it is diverted from the actual plan. So it is just monitoring of the actual work with the planned work, and if it is lagging behind or if it is slow in work, then what are the corrective actions that they must take, so that ultimately the production that is planned, that is produced on time. So progress reporting is data regarding the job progress is collected. So what is the progress of job that is ongoing, that is collected, and it is compared with the present level of performance, and whether if there are any corrective actions are required, whether there are unnecessary movements or there are unnecessary idle time that is spent on, so that after monitoring all those things, if there are necessity of any corrective steps to be taken, then it is taken, and ultimately the actual work is matched to the planned production. And the last topic of presentation, limitation of production planning and control. So what is the limitation? Its functions are based on certain assumptions or forecast of customer demands, planned capacities. So PPC, the main limitation or disadvantage is here you are just planning based on the customer's demand that may change. So that is again disadvantage. You are just planning based on the forecast of customers' demand. Second limitation, employers may resist changes in production. That is the biggest problem. Workers or they don't accept the change that quickly. They always tend to resist whether you are making some changes to the existing layout or existing production system or technology. So that is again disadvantage of limitations of PPC. Then third, it's a time consuming process. It requires loads of planning, whether it is for raw material or ongoing process. All the things are very much time consuming. Then when there are certain technological changes or changes in government's policy, customers test changes, at that time also PPC is very difficult, because for some product for 5 years the demand remains so high, and suddenly the test of that particular product or items changes, then it will be difficult for them to change. That technology changes, government policies, they are collecting more taxes or whatever, then those all things will play a big role. Okay, this is all about today's presentation. Thank you.